What's up, guys? Welcome back to the iherng podcast, and today we will answer a question from email. This is from SY. The title is Bought New House But No Budget for Renovation. I am SY, 43 years old. I have an elder brother, 45, and a younger brother, 37. Three of us are still single. My elder brother stays with my father in a flat at KL. My younger brother and I live in Klang and we work there. I would like to seek your opinion, but my English is not very good, so I hope you can understand my Pasa English. In year 2013, my younger brother and I joined name and bought an apartment in Klang, 1,100 square feet. We buy directly from the developer at 265,000 and we pay full monthly installments about 1,001. After 3 years, we get the keys and we did some minor renovation for our own stay. Last year, three of us joined name and bought a double-story house in Setia Alam. We bought from the developer at 1.036 million, and after 2024 end of the year, when we take keys, we have to pay the money installment of 4,003. So currently, we just pay around 400 monthly interest based on the project progress. For the Klang apartment, my brother and I joint name. We get the loan tenure about 35 years and two of us already withdraw deposit from our EPF account. For the double-story landed house in Setia Alam, 2,360 square feet, we used my elder brother EPF account to withdraw the deposit and pay to the developer. Because we only loan 85% from the bank for 30 years. We can't get 35 years tenure because my elder brother and I are old. My concern right now is I don't have enough money to do renovation after getting the keys. The total monthly income for the three of us is around 12,000 only. My question: number one, we are planning to sell the Klang apartment so that we can use the money to do the renovation, but we still owe the bank 180,000. Currently, the market value for this project is around 320 to 380. Our unit is above level 2. I don't know which value we belong to. Can you check for me the estimate market value? Number two, if refinance the loan, how much money can I get and my monthly installment amount? If refinance the loan, how much money can I get and how much would my monthly installment be? Also, do I have to pay the increased amount of money installment until I pay off the loan? Number three, the Klang apartment monthly rental is 1,000 to 1,003 if it's fully furnished. If I choose to refinance after 3 months, can we sell the unit? I'm worried that I won't be able to pay the mortgage for two houses. Number four, we have to sell the Klang apartment at least 6 months before we get a double-story house keys. After selling, we have to find a place to rent. Is it appropriate? Number five, the main reason why we buy the landed double-story house so that four of us can live together. This is also the first time my elder brother bought a house. After 2 years, he will move from KL to live and find a work here. It feels like we are all tied down for this house. Do you think it's risky? Number six, do you think that the price of this house will increase in the next few years? Number seven, if the market price is very good, can I consider selling this house and then the three of us can buy a smaller house so that the mortgage loan will not be so stressful? Number eight, which is the last one, based on your experience, what would you do? I really hope to hear your reply. Thank you. Wow. Okay, thank you very much, SY, for sending in. So let me kind of conclude the email a little bit because a lot of information here. Three brothers, 45, 43 and 37. SY and younger brother bought an apartment 10 years ago in Klang, 265,000. Then monthly installment is 1,100. And the market value for it right now, it's around 320 to 380. So made some money. Then last year, three of them joined name and buy a terrace house, a double-story terrace house in Setia Alam for 1 million. So now monthly installment becomes 4,003. And for the apartment, younger brother and him took the EPF already to buy the house. Then this round, clear the elder brother's EPF to buy the house because cannot qualify for loan. So now the problem is got no money for renovation. What should they do? Because the monthly income is very limited of 12,000 for 3 person. What a stressful situation to be in. So now the main question, right, to think about is how much money you guys think you need for renovation. So that's the biggest question right now. And the hardest part of that will be there's no limit to that. Sky is the limit to that. Your money is the limit to your renovation. You can go plate your ceiling, you can go plate your toilet bowl if you can afford, but that's the tough part, especially when it comes to a property that you guys are all owning at once. So, okay, never mind, let's go down the question one by one since there's like 7 of them, right? So You guys want to sell the Klang apartment so that you have enough money to do renovation. Now you still owe the bank about 180,000 in terms of loan. And here it demonstrates they bought 265 at 10 years ago. Now it's left with 180. So for a lot of other audiences who haven't buy a house before or haven't cleared their loan before, right? For the first 5 to 8 years time, most of your installment payments are used to pay off the interest. And every month, let's say if you pay X amount, which is like 1,000, right? Almost 85 to 90% of that goes to interest payment, not so much on principal payment, because every month when we pay, it includes principal and interest payment. That's why it's very fun to actually check your account every now and then, because every month you pay installment, right? Then you will think that, hey, every month I pay 1,000, 10 years later, I should have cleared 120 over 1,000, right? So my loan should have dropped way below. Actually, not really lah. So a trick that I just learned from Rina is to every month, if possible, if you can like here save a bit, there save a bit, like extra 200, right? You can actually deposit that into your housing loan account and you will save a lot of money in the long run. So you can save up to 5 to 6 years time in terms of installment tenure. That's very, very cool. Suddenly now with a motive to save money, right? We will make it happen. But the question here is, the market that he checked is around 320 to 380. So he has no clue on how much his unit is worth. Well, you can always check the bank. So you can just ask the bank, maybe the mortgage department, right? Hey, do you guys have a valuation service like my unit is at this level, this is the condition, agak how much if I want to sell or I want to refinance? So they will actually give you the value after checking with the panel of valuers. So they'll just make a phone call and that's actually legit. When the value via verbal is actually legit. So I would suggest to do that. Also, you can go to major platforms like if you can see like Property Guru, iProperty, Muda, and etc. Then you can check what's the market value like, because valuation and market price, right? There's actually a gap. Not necessarily when the bank tells you that hey, it's worth 400,000, right? But in the market, not necessarily people will buy a unit at 400,000, right? Question number 2, if refinance a loan, how much money can I get? Okay, so then it depends on how much you want to refinance. Let's play a scenario. Let's say your value now is 380,000, which is the upper range, just because you are in level 2. So if it's a walk-up apartment, then it will worth a little bit more. And let's say it's 380. And within this scenario, it's also provided that you and your brother's income can actually qualify for the refinance loan. So if 380, they will take 80%, 324, 304,000. So 304 will be the new amount of loan that you are able to qualify. So 304 then minus 180. So after clearing 180, you still left with the balance, which is 124,000, 124,000. But then what you say is true. After you refinance, it means that last time you take a loan of 200,000 plus, right? Now you take a new loan of 300 over 1,000. Your new monthly installment is based on the new amount of the 300 over 1,000 loan. Here, let's say 304 again. Your monthly installment is around 1,002. So this calculation is around 30 years for 4%. So that's roughly 1,002, 1,003, which is around 100 to 200 higher than your usual payment. But now you have 124,000 extra in cash in your bank account. Then point number 3 is when you say that the monthly rental there is around 1,000 to 1,003. Let's say you guys live in, so it's like partly furnished. Let's take 1,002 lah, right? SY says that if choose to refinance after 3 months, can we sell the unit? I wouldn't advise to do so, because paperwork actually takes a lot of time. By the time you say 2 to 3 months, right? I think 2 to 3 months for a normal person is just nice of a duration for people to prepare the documentation. Don't even say submit. It's going to take way longer than that. So that option I wouldn't advise to take at all. So don't refinance, take out the money, then you sell. Might as well you just sell. It's the same thing one. So let's say the market value is 380, and if you sell at 380, people want to buy your house lah. 380, you minus off whatever you owe the bank, which is 180 in loan. So now agak-agak you will have 200,000 in cash. But this process then takes a bit longer, because assuming tomorrow you sell, tomorrow got people buy, and tomorrow people sign SPA, okay? Assuming all that lah. You still need to wait around 6 to 9 months time before you get your money. And that also depends on whether is this property a freehold or leasehold. Freehold, it will be way faster. 6 months is almost sufficient already. If leasehold, you need a bit longer, which is around 9 months. Then point number 4, do we have to sell the Klang apartment at least 6 months before we get a double story house? And after selling, we have to find a place to rent. Is it appropriate? I think this is the way out actually. Like here you say last year you bought. So last year you bought meaning you need around 2 years time. In Setiap Alam usually it's individual title. So individual title projects, they will take 2 years for construction and completion. So last year you bought. After this year, around 2024, you will receive your house already. Then by 2024, then you will get the keys to your house and then you will plan for renovation. In the meantime, yes, you will need a place to rent. And here you also clarified the main trouble that I have for your concern is that the main reason why you all buy together is so everybody can live together. That's very noble. But here you also ask, like, it feels like we are all tied down for this house. Do you think it's risky? Yes, very, very risky. No joke risky. Question number 6, do you think the price of this house will increase in the next few years? I doubt so, because you buy a new house, especially from a developer, right? And for new projects under developers, usually what they do is they will price in all inflation. Means that I almost will sell you future price one. And if you look into the double story terrace houses around Setiap Alam, right, at this size you can get sub-sale units at 850,000, 900,000, but you are buying at 1 million already. So you are already 100,000 more expensive compared to the sub-sale. And do you think that yours will increase price further? I don't think so. For those existing sub-sale ones, maybe they will, not yours, because you are the benchmark to their unit right now. So that indirectly means that point number 7, if market price is very good, can I consider selling the house? I don't think so, because you still owe the bank a lot of money. What would I do then? Question number 8. If you were to ask me last year, right, what would I do? I would actually consider renting a double story house instead to house your elder brother and your father and both of you all lah. So then your apartment in Klang, you can actually rent it out, and that can actually cover your initial monthly installment, right? So now this is a scenario just for studies, right? I know it's useless to talk about this really, but 2 years ago I would not have buy the project because it's clearly beyond your affordability. You guys cannot afford the house. Think about it. You will need 3 persons' income to sustain the installment of a landed house. That is insanely risky. So what I would have done, like I mentioned just now, if I really need that much big of a space, I would just rent. I mean, if you look into the property portals, right, rental is not going to be very, very expensive. It's going to be like maybe 2,000, 2,005, around that range only for a double story terrace house. And the furnishing level is entirely up to you. I rent out the apartment that you and your brother is staying. That already can cover the installment of that. Indirectly also make some money, 100 to 200 extra a month in cash flow. And since all of y'all are single, what's the big problem in renting? If you have a family with toddlers, especially with babies, right, it's very, very challenging. But you're all grown men, right? I don't see the challenge in moving at all. Like your stuff at most 1 luggage gao dim ma. Single people don't have a lot of stuff on ma. So in my opinion, buying the property was a very, very big mistake. Okay, very, very big mistake because of the price. If you guys buy something cheaper, then it's okay. You guys don't need that much of a space one. So now it's just borderline romantic to have such a house. It's a dream house, and now you think about selling. You are betting on future value. You are betting on a lot of things beyond your control. No. Okay, so now back to reality. Your options will be, number 1, you say refinance, right? If you were to refinance, your new installment amount will be 1,300, and the rental around there is also around 1,000, 1,200. So if you fully furnish it a little bit, paint better, just change some furniture, clean it up, right? 1,000, 1,200, right? Every month you will have negative 100 or break even. So that's okay. In exchange for a cash of around 124,000 in your hand cash. So if you want to use that 124,000 to do the renovation, right? I think ngam ho only for a terrace house. But here is also the other concern. Do you necessarily need to spend so much on renovation? That will be the toughest part within this conversation lah. Second option then will be to sell the property. Sell the property, then let's say if you sell at 380,000, you will have 200,000 in cash. For the option of selling, then you will have this time problem that you need to soak accurately, like you need to really time yourself. But what's the worst thing? So let's go and look again for a place to rent for you and your younger brother. Because once you get the keys, right, you need to do defect check. And defect clearance now, because of the shortage of labor within the market, is around 2 months time. Then 2 months time, you get in a contractor to go and give you quotation whatsoever, or you do it yourself. It's still going to take another 2 to 3 months time. So Kaka My Mai is also going to be 6 months time. So 6 months after you take the keys, you want to sell the house 6 months before, right? You're going to rent a place for a year, and that would be option 2. And then you will have solid cash of 200,000 in the end of everything, and that can be used to fund your renovation process. And here you are just playing it a little bit more serious, because assuming you get a house, right, for a terrace house in that area, it's bare furnished, so you will just furnish your aircon, water heater, some basic furniture, 4 bedrooms, some cooking stuff, right? It's going to be around 70 to 80,000, around there. For basic lah, you don't tell me that you want plaster ceiling lah, you don't tell me you want fancy stuff lah. So it's going to be around that range if you spend everything prudently. In option 2, then you will have less risk to yourself, means that 3 brothers together, 12,000 income, will pay the monthly installment of 4,000. No? So every month now, everyone will need to pay 1,000 plus a month. No? And you will need to do that at least for the next 8 to 12 years time, provided market is good, provided Bank Negara remains the OPR level. If not, right, it's going to be very challenging. Imagine now the worst thing that can happen to your brothers right now is suddenly Bank Negara increase OPR again. Directly 4,000 becomes 4,004, 4,006. Wow, jialat bro. So that would be the 2 options available. One is to refinance, then you get 120,000 cash and you rent out a Klang apartment. Then every month you will still have like break even for that side of rental. Then you have the outstanding amount of cash and to pay for renovation. But then the risk for option 1 is, what if no tenants here, but you still need to pay the outstanding balance here? Okay, so that will be the only risk that you might need to think about. 1,002 suddenly no tenants, then you need to pay low. Then here your share of 1,000 plus you will need to pay low. So that month you will need to pay at around 2,002 to 2,003 low. But that's again, I don't know what's the dynamic between you and your brother, how much share or whatsoever. So it's just like, this is a rough estimation lah. If you were to sell the Klang apartment, right, you make your money of 200,000, then you put in some money for renovation, and for the balance, right, may I suggest to actually park inside the housing loan. I hope it's a flexi account, or at least a semi-flexi account. When you park inside, you can save a lot more interest. Then somewhat, if you want to sell later, you can still make some money. Or best case scenario, don't lose any money lah. If it's for me, I will pick option 1 because I want to remain the ownership of the first property. Because since it's that range of property where there's a lot of room for growth, 380,000, right? And the rental around 1,000, 2,003 always got demand one. Compared to a luxury landed home that you guys are moving into right now. The main thing to think about will then be your risk appetite. Are you able to tolerate days where your apartment empty but you still need to pay installment for your house? Suddenly that month, right, will be very tight. But bear in mind here, you will already have some cash with you. Save that money, safeguard that money like nobody's business. So suddenly, if you have months like shortage a little bit here and there, right, you can actually just tip some from this bucket. Then can you still sell the property later? Can, of course you can, but also you get to wait and you get to sell at a price that you want, not urgent sell or fire sale right now. So personally, I will go for option 1, but if you are not a risk taker, option 2 would be fine, assuming you can sell at 380,000 lah. And I guess that's all for this episode. So I think the main lesson here is that romantic concept of having all families living together in a place that all of y'all can own, right? It's not very practical actually. And at this age of 40 over, right? No joke. So again, this is just to rectify whatever problem that has been done, but the property is a mistake. The new landed property that is around $1 million is a mistake. If you cannot own the house based on one person's name, right, you cannot afford the property. And the worst thing now, like, there's going to be another conversation if one of you are jobless but they still stay. Are you guys going to cover his share? Or if suddenly one brother is going to get married and he wants his share out, so how do you brothers then divide the share? That's going to be another separate problem. If all of you are close-knitted, very good, right? If suddenly you're different in dynamics, like new girlfriend and new girlfriend don't like each other, then why does he get the master bedroom? Why he gets a smaller room? Hey, I want to have a new home with my future wife. I need the money to buy the new house. Can you guys just cough in and buy out my share or whatsoever, right? That is going to be even worse. Drama, weh. But let's just decide then when the time comes. So now you have a bigger problem to think about. So it's option 1, option 2, refinance or sell, right? Pretty direct. But it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world because you decide how much you want to spend on renovation. Right? There's no minimum requirement for comfort. Right? What I will do is I will just give my father whatever he needs already. The rest we just sleep tilam. And I guess that's all for today. Thank you very much for sending in the email. I hope the answer can be a good reference. Apologies for the rain. I'm doing this in a car while waiting to pick up my kid. And for those who still have any questions regarding real estate, do just email me at taniherng@gmail.com, or you can just DM me on Instagram, iherng, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Ciao.
When love comes in